What's up, yo? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in live every Sunday, 12 Eastern Time. As you can see, I'm by myself today. Hey. I know we were going to talk about genetics and the role they play in hypertrophy and bodybuilding. However, life happens. Camille had to go to California to take care of some family business. Hopefully, she'll be back next week, and we'll get back to genetics and the role they play in bodybuilding and hypertrophy. All right, so today we're talking about the IFBB Pro journey, the road to the pro, baby. I'm going to give you my story, how I made it to the pro level, and then we're going to talk about the professional workout series that just wrapped up on YouTube itself. All right, so those are pretty much my updates. Back into my bulk weight. I busted it last week. I bulked a little too much, so we cut back. I'm back into my bulk weight. So we lost 2 pounds. I'm back to 220. Rock and roll. We're going to stay at 220 for a while, and probably until we cut. So just got to maintain right now. I'm 20 pounds over stage weight, so I'm fully bulked. Ready to rock and roll. All right, so we are talking about the road to the pro, and Camille's not here, so I'm struggling, y'all. She's the one that makes all this happen. She does the outline. She does it all. So I'm looking at my outline here, but it's nowhere near as what, Camille would do. All right, so we got overview of the series, why it was created, my personal journey, and audience Q&A. You can ask questions anytime you want. You don't have to wait to ask questions. Just a reminder, we got super thanks. If anybody wants to give super thanks, we will put it back into the business. We'll get it going here. All right, so the bodybuilding series, the professional bodybuilding series. I know some of you watched it. If you didn't watch it, it's a good series. You should watch it. So I've been in this industry forever. I'm pretty much a prep coach at this point in my career. I was a personal trainer, 20-some years. Now I'm pretty much niched into the competitive world. I do train regular people every now and then, and I do have one who doesn't compete, but he has the look of a competitor. So I pretty much count him as a competitor as well. He just doesn't hit the stage. All right, so every goal of every competitor I've ever trained is a pro card, the coveted pro card, right? Everybody wants that pro card. You want to be a professional athlete, Growing up, I had a advantage or disadvantage, whatever you want to call it, of a little brother. My little brother was more athletically gifted than I was, right? So he could beat me at the skill sports. He could beat me at basketball. He could beat me at baseball. He could beat me at tennis. Whenever there was any physicality involved, I'm bigger and stronger than him. I could beat him. So football, if I could catch him, I could beat him. Wrestling, I dominated. But any skill sport, my little brother could beat me. He was more athletic. He had more athletic ability, and he could run faster. So, very young age, every little boy wants to be a professional athlete when they grow up, right? So, at a very young age, I realized I'm not going to make it in the big three: baseball, football, or basketball. But I can make it in bodybuilding. I realized this at a very young age, y'all. When you got a little brother that can be at skill sports and your dream is to be a professional athlete, yeah, you better shift gears or you better find a different sport. I found a different sport. So made it to the bodybuilding, got into bodybuilding, got serious with bodybuilding, in the Army, 19 years old. But that's the whole reason. That was the drive. I want to be a professional athlete. That's huge. I think everybody wants to be a professional athlete. Every young boy growing up, and probably now every young girl growing up, watching Caitlin Clark these days. So, everybody they're looking up to their heroes, the athletes, their abilities, and that's what that's what you want to grow up to be. So I had the advantage of knowing I wasn't going to make it in the big three. So I had to find a different sport or forget about being a professional athlete, right? Right. So I started bodybuilding. Even at that young age, I started bodybuilding. All right. So let's get back to the professional series. Why did I do it? It's because every competitor out there wants a pro card. I don't care what league you're in, what league you're competing in, OCB, USBF, NPC, NABBA, all of them, all athletes, their goal is that pro card. That's why I made the professional series. These workouts literally are some of the workouts that I use leading up to my pro card, y'all. These workouts, these videos are the exact workouts that I've given clients that got them to their pro card. Hey, Kylie, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So that's why I did it, yo. If you watch the series, it's a very intense workouts. These are not for beginners. There's drop sets, there's supersets, there's all kinds of intensifying techniques in these workouts. To be a professional, you have to do this. You have to take it to the next level. You have to use every intensifying technique you can to get to the next level, right? All right, even if you're not a competitor, you can use these videos to get your physique to the next level. They will do it. Like I already mentioned, it's the workouts I've done and the workouts I've given clients to get to their pro card as well. But just always remember, you get out what you put in. So even during these workouts, if you're not giving 100%, you're not going to get 100% back out, right? So while you're doing these workouts, while you're doing these exercises, make sure you're going as hard as you can, giving it all you got. Otherwise, it ain't going to work, y'all. All right. So we're supposed to tie this to New Year's goals, right? So any competitor out there who got second place last year, guess what? They're coming back this year for that first place finish, baby, right? Any competitor out there that got first place but came up short of the pro card, guess what they're doing this year? They're getting that pro card, right? And I got second place in my first bodybuilding competition as well, so I know all about it, yo. I know the fire that burns. I know the fire that creates. You were so close to first, so close to that pro card. You're coming back. And this year, 2025, you're going to get it, right? All right. All right. So I created this for personal inspiration. Obviously, I wanted anybody out there that wants to get their pro card can earn it. It's not easy. You're going to have to outwork all your competition, but it is possible. And this is part of the reason I created it. I wanted to inspire, I wanted to motivate, I wanted to give you a roadmap. So these are the exercises you can do. Big T's on. What's up, Big T? Yeah. So these are the exercises you can do. This is a roadmap. Tina's on. What's up, Tina? Yeah. All right. So I know Big T's competed before. He's going after that pro card. If he goes up on stage again, I know he's going to go for that pro card, baby. Big T says, where's the other half? So I think I said this in the beginning, but I'm not sure. Camille has some family issues. She had to fly out to California, take care of some family business. Hopefully she's back next week. She's scheduled to be back Wednesday, but we will see what happens. I'm counting on her being back Wednesday, but life happens sometimes, yo. Family happens, life happens. We all get it. We've all been there. So keep her in your prayers. Hopefully she'll be fine and she'll be back, and her family will be fine and they'll be back as well. All right, so back to the series, the program Insight. It focuses on progressive overload, intensifying techniques, and how do you get your pro card, the best way to keep pushing and getting after it, y'all. It is a great series. I recommend it for anybody, even if you just want to get your, I'm sorry, I don't recommend it for anybody. If you are a beginner, do not do the workouts in the pro series, right? If you are intermediate and advanced, you can go ahead and do the workouts in the pro series, even if your goal is just to get your physique to the next level. Even if it's not a pro card, you just want to go up a level. This series will do that. The pro series will take your physique to the next level. All right, so my journey on becoming an IFBB Pro after 40 years old, by the way, I didn't get my pro card until I was after 40 years old. My first competition was in 2005. I just mentioned I got second place, right? Right. So 2006 or 2007, I can't remember the year, I won the Maryland State Bodybuilding light heavyweight category. I didn't win the overall. I won the light heavyweight. So I said, oh, baby, we're going to nationals. Yeah, right? I went, I guess, 06, 07, maybe 08, and did the Mr. Universe in New York City. And I got crushed. Absolutely crushed, y'all. I was not at a pro level. My physique was not at a pro level. And I knew it immediately as soon as I stepped backstage at that competition. I could see the physiques standing around, and I was outclassed 100%, not ready for that level yet. So, little hint for you guys out there, if you win your class, but you don't win the overall, you shouldn't do nationals. Once you start winning the overall, now you can go to nationals. Now you can go do something. But at a local show, if you win your class and don't win the overall and you go do nationals, just realize you're doing it for practice because you're going to get crushed out there. If you don't win an overall at a local show and you go to nationals, you're going to get beat, yo. Now, if you want to chalk it up for practice, go do national show for practice. You are more than welcome to. Just realize you're going to get beat. Angel said, what's the lightest weight class in bodybuilding? Good question, my man. It's either featherweight or super lightweight. It starts, man, it's been a while since I did bodybuilding because Classic Physique came out, but I believe it starts around 130 pounds for men. I'm not even sure what it is for women. I think Camille is either a heavyweight or a light heavyweight, and she competes around 130. So that should tell you the female weights. The male weights start at 130, and the female weights, either light heavyweight or heavyweight, is at 130. So that, I believe, is the lightest you're going to get on a bodybuilding stage. And these are pretty short guys, and obviously they haven't packed on much mass yet. But that is probably the lightest weight class. So, like I said, I won the light heavyweight. Then I went to the universe and got outclassed, outschooled. I mean, everything. I wasn't ready for that level, y'all. And I had to go there to realize that, unfortunately. So, I just mentioned I am a professional athlete. I went back 16 years later-ish, right? Ish. Let me think about this for a minute. It's about 10 or 11 years later because 2018 is when I went back to nationals. And now, so I had to requalify. I went to West Virginia, won the Mountaineering Classic, won the overall this time. I crushed my class and I crushed the overall. That was a great show. That was my last local show, and I did it right. I went in there, and if I crossed over to bodybuilding, I would have won the overall bodybuilding as well. So I did it right, and that's when you're ready for nationals, right? That's when you're past the local level. Now you're ready to go on to nationals. Big T says, you enjoy coaching or competing more? Man, that is a good question, T. I like them both. I definitely like them both, but I'm going to have to give the nod to competing. The dream is still there. The dream's still alive. I've still got goals. I'm still going for the goals I want to hit. So right now, it's still competing, but I do love coaching. I enjoy it very much. The years I take off and I don't get to the stage, going backstage coaching really is motivating. You're back in the sport. You're looking at the athletes. You're looking at the physiques. You're cheering on your athletes. You're coaching them on, and it's great. It is wonderful. But right now, as far as competing or coaches, as long as I'm chasing those goals, it's going to be competing. Once I retire, it'll probably shift over to coaching. Great question, T. All right, so where was I? 10, 11, 12 years later, I went to nationals and won the pro card. This one was in Pittsburgh. I didn't go back to New York. I didn't want to go. New York was an experience, y'all. Luckily, I was dating a girl that knew the subway system because she lived in New York before. But if she wasn't there, holy smokes. I don't know how the heck I would have got to the venue. I don't know how the heck I would have got anywhere, right? So I didn't go back to New York. I went to Pittsburgh this time. What is the Pittsburgh show? North American Championships in Pittsburgh. And I won my pro card in the 40 and over class. So literally after I went to nationals the first time and got schooled and realized I'm not ready for here, it took me 10, 11, 12 years to build the physique to go back and say, okay, now I'm ready. I put the time in, put the work in, built the physique, came back and got it. That was, my triumph. That is the goal of almost every competitor out there, is to get that pro card. And that was a great feeling, a great day. Great, 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 great accomplishment. It was wonderful. I'm never going to forget it. It'll be there forever. I heard it is there. I will never forget it. All right. So let me see what she's got on the outline here. Yeah. That was great. Winning your pro card is great. However, once I won that pro card, y'all, I went ahead and competed as a pro. My first show was the Savannah Pro down in Savannah, Georgia, and I got crushed. Once again, I got crushed, yeah. So in the pro level, they don't place anybody after 15th place. Everybody's 15th or 16th place. That's where I was. Again, outclassed. Once again, I saw the physiques. I saw the guys in the top 3. I did beat a couple physiques, but there was very few that I beat. The top 3 guys in that competition outclassed me. It was obvious their physiques were on another level than what mine were. So once again, it's just like going back to nationals the first time. I wasn't ready yet. I had to go back to the drawing board, had to put some size on. I'm still undersized a little bit for a pro. We're working on it. That's what we're working on. We're putting size on. We're going to get big, and we're going to come back and compete at 50 and over. The goal is to win as a pro. I don't have a pro win yet. That is the goal for this upcoming show after I turn 50. All right. So we got any Q&A. If anybody has any questions, fire away. I know we were supposed to talk about genetics, but life happens and we had to shift gears. Camille wants to talk about the genetics, the role they play in, so we're going to hold that off till next week when she's back. And I think that's going to be a good one. That's very interesting. I told you last week, look at pictures of Ronnie Coleman when he's 15, Lee Priest when he's 15, and Mike Menser when he's 15, and then go ahead and compare yourself to them when you're 15, your physiques, right? That's the role genetics plays. All right, so future plans, I just went over that. We are going to compete at 50 and over. I'm 48 right now, so we got about a year and a half. The goal is to put on size and to win a pro show. I'm not training for second place. No professional athlete is. If you're training for second place, you probably never made it to the professional level, right? So we're training for first place. We're going to go in. I'll pick a show. Hopefully it's not too far away. Traveling when you're competing just puts another burden on there, but it's necessary sometimes. If you're frustrated, and this is a good point I should have brought up earlier, you compete locally, right? So I live in Maryland, so the Delmarva plus New Jersey area. So it's Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. You're going to have the same judges, y'all. Same promoters, same judges. If you're not happy with the way you're getting judged, travel. Go to a different spot. Travel. Go to a different spot. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. Hopefully all the judging has integrity, but if you're not happy and you feel like you got ripped off, you're going to have to travel. If you keep going back to a show in Maryland, you're going to have the same judging panel every time. Same promoter every time. I've been around long enough. I've been competing and I've been coaching long enough. They are the same judges. They are the same promoters at the same area if you keep doing the same shows in the same area. So if you want a different look, I'm going to say a fair look from people and judges that haven't seen you yet, travel. Get out of your local area. Get out of where you've been competing. Go to a different spot, right? All right. If you're happy with your local judging, then stay right where you're at. There's no need to travel there. But there's a pro tip for you. If you don't like the judging, if you feel like you're getting ripped off, if you feel like you've been ripped off, for whatever reason, we'll leave it at that. Go ahead and travel, get yourself to a different destination. I just said I won the Maryland State and then I went to New York to do nationals. The judging in New York obviously was different than Maryland. So after, 12, 13 years, I went to West Virginia. Those were different judges than Maryland judges. That's out of the Delmarva area. So I had all different judging, and they were all pretty impressed with the physique and came up and talked to me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I never got any of that in the Delmarva area. Just saying. Just saying. All right. So after that, we have motivation. So yes, this is part of to stay motivated for the new year. You watch a series, follow the series. Nothing is going to motivate you like progress. And if you do the workouts in the pro series, you are going to make that progress. Just remember, if you're not intermediate or advanced, you're not ready yet. Don't do the advanced pro workouts if you are a beginner, right? But if you're not a beginner, an advanced and intermediate bodybuilder, go ahead and do them. And when you start seeing the gains, you're going to get motivated, y'all. You're going to get motivated. You're going to see the progress. These workouts are designed to make progress. I told you I did them for my pro card. I trained many people to their pro cards with these workouts. So check them out, get them going, and you will get motivated. Tina said good advice about switching locations. Yes, if you've been competing or you've been in the industry long enough, judges sometimes got a personal preference, and their personal preference is not you. Usually it's their nephew or niece or son or cousin or something that they have a preference for. But for whatever reason, if it's not you, go ahead and travel. Yes, absolutely. Kylie says, do you have any other New Year's resolutions? Oh, my goodness, Kylie. Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned that Camille and I are into real estate, so I want to buy a multifamily this year. That's one of the resolutions. I want to up the YouTube this year. That's one of the resolutions. And I want to build up my Instagram this year. That's one of the resolutions as well. Thank you for asking, Kylie. But the overarching theme and the overall goal is that pro card at 15 over. So that's going to be my New Year's resolution for next year as well. Commando Slayers on. What's up, Commando? What advice would you give someone who suffers from high blood pressure? That's a good question. First, what's the cause of the high blood pressure? Over the years, I've had very healthy people with high blood pressure, and it's genetics. If that's the case, there isn't much you can do. You can work out, you can eat right, but you're still going to have high blood pressure, unfortunately. If it's not genetic, you can lose weight. That's number one. High blood pressure usually comes with overweight and obesity. So working out helps. That's going to help. Your cardiovascular is going to help, and eating right is going to help. The lighter you are, the better your blood flows. You can try eating beets. They're a vasodilator, so they will dilate your veins, so the blood will flow easier through your veins. That should lower your blood pressure some as well. But overall health is going to be your go-to to lower your blood pressure. Lighter weight, more cardio, eat right, etc., etc., etc. But like I said, if it's genetics, there was a guy, I worked at Brick Bodies for a minute, and there was a trainer there. He was in his 20s. I think he was 26, worked out every day, super skinny, on blood pressure medicine. It was genetics. Both his parents had high blood pressure. He has high blood pressure. He had to get on medicine to lower his blood pressure. But my man was skinny as can be, ate right, and worked out 6 days a week. So if you are genetically blessed with high blood pressure, or unblessed, I should say, there isn't much you can do. You're just going to take your meds and try to eat right and work out, but it's just going to be there for the rest of your life, unfortunately. You can try NO products as well, because they're going to vasodilate you as well. I'm not sure, anytime you take any caffeine products, it ups your blood pressure too. You might want to stay away from those, but then you don't have caffeine, right? But so, the best advice I can give you is keep trucking, man. Lose weight if you can. That's going to be your best bet. lose weight and eat right, keep trucking, maybe try the vasodilators. All right, Michael says, do they deduct points if you have several tattoos? Great question, Michael. About 20 years ago, it was frowned upon for bodybuilders to have tattoos because it blurs your lines, allegedly, blah, 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 right? No, not anymore, brother. There's way too many people with way too many tattoos these days for anybody to frown upon it. It's pretty normal these days. I'm old enough. I'm old enough, Michael, to remember when people would cover their tattoos. They put like tannin, but it was heavier than their tannin, and they would cover their tattoos, try to make them disappear so the judges couldn't see them. I'm that old. They used to do that. They used to cover their tattoos up. However, it's not an issue anymore. It's not looked down upon anymore. It's too common these days for anybody to even raise an eyebrow about it anymore. All right, Commander Slayer retracted his message. Angel says, how heavy do you plan on being the next time you compete? Fantastic question, Angel. If everything played out right, so I'm in classic physique. I'm 5'10", so I can be 207 pounds on stage. That's my weight limit. I would like to be 206 or 207 pounds. I would like to be right at the top of the weight limit, right? That means I'm carrying as much mass as I can, as long as I'm in condition. However, at West Virginia, I was 198, and I believe the heaviest I've been on stage so far is 204. So I would have to put on some muscle over the next year and a half to come in at 206, 207. But that is the goal. Great question, Angel. Here we go. Commander Slayer, I have a friend who had to entirely quit weightlifting. He was old, but had a great physique for his age. Man, that's awful. He had to quit because of his blood pressure, I'm assuming. That's a shame. You know, weightlifting should help with your blood pressure, you know? Yeah. You know, anytime you're lifting, it's going to raise your blood pressure. Anytime you're doing cardio, it's going to raise your blood pressure, but you're moving that blood around faster through your veins, through your arteries, through your blood vessels. It's moving faster, so it should help clear the veins out. It should help clear the arteries out. That's why you do the workout, right? That's why they tell people with high blood pressure to do the workout. He must be too high that he's in danger. He might, when he starts working out, it might go too high. And that's a shame. That's a shame. I can't imagine having to stop working out because of high blood pressure. That's awful. Big T says, has drug testing changed for bodybuilding shows since cannabis is legal in most states? Great question, Big T. Yes, it has. Excuse me. I think the OCB is the only one that's changed it so far. So most natural leagues take the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee ban list, and they just use the same ban list. On that ban list is marijuana, cannabis. So almost every natural league out there has banned cannabis like it's a performance-enhancing drug. However, we all know it's not a performance-enhancing drug. You know, you get the munchies and you want to watch cartoons. I don't understand how anybody thinks it's a performance-enhancing drug. But the Olympics banned it, so all natural leagues out there banned it. The OCB, I know, changed it, I think, 2 years ago. They now allow marijuana. There's some stipend in there, like you're not supposed to do it 24 hours before a competition or something. But OCB has removed marijuana from their ban list. I think a lot of organizations are going to do that. You know, it's coming. UFC, I believe, has done that. NFL has done that. I don't know if NBA or MLB or NHL has done that, but I know UFC, NFL, and OCB now have lifted their restrictions on cannabis, marijuana. So you can smoke and still compete in the natural leagues, at least in the OCB. The other natural leagues, the big ones, are USBF and NABBA. I'm not sure what their policy is yet, if they change it or not. But I know OCB has, and I know these leagues are going to change it. If they haven't yet, they're going to change it. It's just common sense at this point, y'all. Nobody's smoking weed for performance enhancement, right? Unless you're doing an eating competition or something, right? Or a sleeping competition. Other than that, marijuana is not helping you perform any kind of way, right? I guess it's helping you recover because you can eat and sleep, but it's not a performance enhancing drug. Good question, T. That's a great question, David. So that brings up a good point. When you are going to compete, you have two choices: natural leagues and non-natural leagues, right? So NPC, IFBB are non-natural leagues. Hey, Millie girls on. What's up, Camille? From California. Miss you, baby. All right, so where was I? Natural leagues, non-natural leagues. Excuse me. NPC, IFBB are not tested, so you can get away with anything you want to take. OCB, USBF, NABBA are drug tested. OCB does a fantastic job. I can't speak for the other leagues. I haven't dealt with them enough, but I know OCB, lie detector, urinalysis, and they can random urinalysis anytime during the year. So if you really want to compete natural, I would go OCB league. They are the premier natural league, in my opinion, in this area. And they run their shows good. They're squared away. It is a great league. If you're a natural athlete and you want to compete naturally, I 100% recommend OCB. Great question, T. So if you haven't figured out, if you go NPC or IFBB, they don't test, so you can do much marijuana as you want. Doesn't matter. They don't test for anything. So non-natural or natural. I think, you can pretty much get away with marijuana in both leagues at this point. You just gotta, if you're gonna be natural, stay off the PEDs. I don't know why anybody who is enhanced would want to do a natural show anyway. That's the ultimate cheating for me. I mean, if you're gonna actually do some performance enhancing drugs and then go do a natural show, come on, man, what are you doing? And OCB will publish your name if you fail your analysis, by the way. So it's public shaming as well, which I think is funny as can be. But unfortunately, a lot of these guys and girls are getting popped for SARMs, and SARMs are legal. SARMs you can buy at GNC or Vitamin Shop or wherever else, but they're banned. People think I can buy them over the counter. They're okay. They're legal, but they're still banned, unfortunately. So you get a lot of people popping on SARMs because of ignorance. They don't know any better. All right. So let me see where we're at here. Oh, yeah. Future announcements. I'm going to start an over 50 series. This was a request from Michael, I believe. We're going to do over 50 series. We're going to talk about working out over 50, how you can still make gains when you're over 50. I'm 48 years old, y'all. I'm right there with you. You're going to have to make some adjustments. You will, believe me. I've made some adjustments already. I'm only 48. You're going to have to make some adjustments the older you get if you want to keep making gains, but not destroy your joints, not destroy your body. You're going to have to make some changes, and that's what I'm going to go over on the 50 and over. We're going to go over intensifying techniques. We're going to do pre-exhaust, post-exhaust. I'm actually going to steal Angel's pyramid sets the way he did pyramid sets. Thank you, Angel. I'm going to steal that from you and use that in my 50 and over series. All right, Tina's 48 too. All right, outstanding, Tina. And she can't wait. Outstanding. I like it. Yeah, I mean, there's another guy on YouTube I watched a couple times. He does it over 50. All his stuff is over 50. And I'm actually going to do a lot of what he preaches, So we're going to do more volume than we are heavy weights. So we're going to sacrifice the heavy weights a little bit, make up for it in volume and intensifying techniques. Tina says, lately I've tweaked something new every time. Oh, Tina, I'm laughing because I'm right there with you, Tina. Oh, my goodness. You all have been with me over the last couple months. I tore a hamstring, right? I think I put the picture in the community. So if you haven't seen the torn hamstring picture, it's in the community. After that was almost better, I tweaked my stinking shoulder. My shoulder was laid up for probably a month and a half. Now I'm just now getting to the point where I can crank it up close to 100% on my leg workouts and my upper body workouts. So I'm right there with you, Tina. It's been about 3 months since I could go 100%. I'm chomping at the bit, though. I'm ready to go, believe me. Upper body, I think I'm good to go. I probably will have to do another 80, 90% leg workout for another 2 or 3 times before I can really go 100%. That tore hamstring put me down. I don't want to make it any worse or aggravate it or anything else. That was a bad one, y'all. Oh, I highly recommend you don't tear any muscles because, man, that was a bad one. But 3 months later, we're over it. We're rocking and rolling. We're back to getting gains. So I know a lot of our viewers are around 50 or 50 and over. So this is going to be a great series coming up. It's going to drop end of January, beginning of February timeframe. We're going to start filming it here next week probably and get it rocking and rolling. I'm excited about this one too because it's needed. Unfortunately, you do have to change some things. If you don't, you're going to be tweaked up just like me, just like Tina. So I'm going to show you all how to do it without getting beat up, without destroying your joints, without destroying your body. So I'm looking forward to that one. All right. And in 2 years, I'll make a comeback to the stage. Thank you, Camille. We've been talking about that a lot. We got a reminder. Check out our live every 12 Eastern time, every Sunday. Yep, excuse me. Next week, again, we're going to talk about genetics, the role genetics plays. We were supposed to talk about it this week. Apologies. We just bumped that to next week. Gave you my personal story this week to the pro card. Talked about the pro series. And we're going to drop the 50 and over series, which is fantastic. I can't wait to do that. This channel's here to help. We're here to help. And I think the 50 and over series is going to help a lot of people. When you have to change things and you don't know what to change, it's pretty tough. And this is going to help y'all. This is going to show you what to change and show you how to still continue to make gains, even though you're older in age, even though you're a little more matured. It's going to show you it is possible, and we're going to do it, and I'm going to do it right there with you. I'm 48. I'm right there, right behind y'all. So, and again, we're going to hit that stage at 50. So we're going to make some gains, y'all. Big T. We're going to see some food prep video coming this year. If you would like to, sir, absolutely. We can do that. We get those questions pretty often. We probably should do more nutrition and food prep, that side of things. We're mostly training, but I'm going to quote Mensa, right? It starts in the gym. It starts with training. Nutrition is great, but if you don't do the work in the gym, nutrition's not going to help you. All right. Just keep that in mind. Yes, nutrition is extremely important. But if you fall short at the gym, eating right's not going to make muscles, right? Right. Angel says, having injuries is the reason I started moderate weight training with higher volume. I was really bad about warming up and stretching, but not nowadays. Yes, Angel, unfortunately, most of us had to learn the hard way. And had some kind of tweak or some kind of injury, and then you say, okay, well, definitely warming up from now on. Absolutely. I remember I used to walk into the gym and put 315 on the bench and go right to it. That was my first set. My very first thing, I get on the bench and start bench pressing 315 pounds. Man, if I did that today, both shoulders would break, both elbows would break. I would not. I can't do that today, y'all. I've got to warm up, warm the joints up, get it going, do a couple light sets first, and then maybe build up to 315. So I'm with you, Angel. And that's going to be part of the 50 and over series. I'm going to explain all this to you, why we do it. And unfortunately, most of us learn the hard way by injuring ourselves. And then you have to go, okay, I'm not 22 anymore. I'm going to have to warm up, right? All right. And Tina says, for sure, you better believe it, baby. Excuse me. Especially a lot of times I work out first thing in the morning, and you roll out of bed, and yes, I'm mentally there. Yes, I'm fired up, But man, I got to get my body moving a little bit before I can go in there and kill a workout. I'm talking about 10 minutes on a treadmill or a bike or something, just moving, just to get the blood going. And then I'll go and start my warm up for the weights. But again, we're going to go over all that in the 15 over series. You know, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. All right, y'all. If there aren't any more questions, I'm probably going to wrap this up. It's a little bit of a short one. Camille's not here, unfortunately. We like to banter and roll on, talk about whatever you want to talk about. But without Camille here, I'm pretty lost. I'm pretty lost in life, and I'm pretty lost on this live right now, y'all. Without Camille here. All right, Big T says, do you think cables benefit more for older person for the joint? That's a great question, T. I don't think there's an advantage to using machines or cables only, but there are ways to use cables that you can pre-exhaust, post-exhaust, intensifying techniques and stuff. So, for example, you can do cable flies before you do your bench press. So you pre-exhaust your chest with your cable flies, and then you go do your big compound move on the bench press. You don't have to go near as heavy on your bench press because you pre-exhausted on the cables doing the flies. That is going to be one of the tips on chest day 50 and over workouts to save your shoulders, to save your elbows, and again, to not have to lift that heavy weight, right? So, you know, the older you get, the more you get beat up from these heavy weights. So there are ways around it, and that's one that I'm going to show y'all. Great question, T. Cables are a little bit smoother, so maybe, but not too much, my man. Angel said, I have arthritis in my left shoulder and my left knee. Every 4 months, I get a shot to help with mobility. I wouldn't be able to lift without the shots. Goodness gracious. That's good, Angel. I mean, it's good you got the shots. I'm assuming they're cortisone. And it's unfortunately, you can't do anything about arthritis. You know, you just got to live with it. Unfortunately, it's kind of like the genetic blood pressure. You just got to live with it, you know. I wish there was a way around it. I wish there was something you could do about it, but at least you're getting the cortisone shots and they're keeping you going, brother. I have not had a cortisone shot yet. I know Camille has got a few in her shoulder, got a few in her knee. They seem to work. You know, she gets rocking and rolling a couple days after she gets the shot every time. And they last her a pretty long time. 6 months to a year. You're going every 4 months. Ooh, man, you got it bad, Angel. Good for you for keep going, brother. No excuse, right? Keep going. If you can keep going, my man. If anybody's seen the Ronnie Coleman documentary where he's walking into the gym with his 2 crutches hunched over, he's still going, baby. That's the love. That's the passion. Ronnie Coleman will never stop working out unless he absolutely can't. And that's the love. That's the passion. That's why Ronnie Coleman's so great, y'all. And good for you, Angel, for keeping it going, my man. I'm going to be the same way. You know, I can't stop lifting at this point. It's my therapy. It's my love. It's what I do. So, you know, if I got to get cortisone shots to keep going, I'm going to get cortisone shots to keep going. Hopefully I won't have to, not for many, many years, but we'll see what happens, brother. You know, we'll do what we can. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to my story. My road to my pro card. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching the pro series. Angel, I know you watched it. You commented on a couple of them. I appreciate that. Big T, I know you watched. You commented on a couple of them. I appreciate that. We're looking forward to the 15 over series, and Camille will be back next week. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of y'all.